The arrival. The anomaly appeared without warning. On a routine shift at Europa Deep Space Observatory, Dr. Elijah Okafor was the first human to witness what would soon become humanity's greatest challenge. The gravitational distortions at the edge of the Kuiper belt were subtle at first, so subtle that Elijah almost dismissed them as instrument error. But as additional readings confirmed the anomaly's existence, the truth became undeniable. Something massive was entering our solar system. "Director Hayes, you need to see this," Elijah said, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. Multiple objects decelerating from what appears to be FTL travel. Configuration suggests artificial structures. Within hours, every telescope in the solar system was pointed toward the approaching anomaly. What they saw sent shockwaves through Earth's unified government. A fleet of vessels, geometric in design and moving with unnatural precision, had entered the solar system. The lead ship alone dwarfed humanity's largest vessels by a factor of 20. In the command center of the Earth Defense Station Arcturus, Admiral Sofia Valdez studied the holographic display with practiced calm. After decades of preparation for this very scenario, humanity was about to face its first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. "Broadcast the first contact protocol on all frequencies," she ordered, "and alert all military assets. I want the fleet at combat readiness, but weapons cold." The first contact message, a carefully crafted combination of mathematical principles, atomic structures, and peaceful imagery, was transmitted toward the alien vessels. For 3 days, humanity waited for a response while the fleet continued its measured approach toward Neptune's orbit. The reply, when it came, was not what anyone had hoped for. Captain Maya Chen of the Earth defense ship Solaris was conducting routine patrol near Neptune when the aliens made their intentions clear. Without warning or provocation, a beam of coherent energy lanced out from the lead alien vessel, vaporizing the Neptune research station and its crew of 32 scientists. "All hands to battle stations," Maya shouted as alarms blared throughout the Solaris. "Defensive systems online. Get me a direct line to command." At 37, Maya had spent nearly 2 decades in Earth's defense forces, rising through the ranks due to her tactical brilliance and unwavering composure under pressure. The Solaris, while not Earth's largest vessel, was among its most advanced, a rapid response destroyer designed for speed and firepower. "Captain, they're launching smaller craft," reported Lieutenant Kai Rodriguez from Tactical. "I count at least 40 vessels on intercept course." Maya's mind raced through the limited options. The Solaris couldn't outrun the alien fleet. Their propulsion technology was clearly superior. Fighting head-on would be suicide against such overwhelming numbers. They needed to buy time for Earth to prepare its defenses. "Evasive pattern Delta," she ordered. "Lieutenant Harper, analyze their attack patterns and energy signatures. Find me a weakness." As the Solaris executed a series of random jumps, the aliens pursued with frightening coordination. Their smaller vessels moved not as individual ships, but as extensions of a single entity, adapting instantly to the Solaris's maneuvers. "Captain, I'm detecting something unusual," called out Lieutenant Sophia Harper from the science station. "The smaller vessels appear to be receiving continuous guidance from the command ship. When we destroy one, the others in proximity momentarily lose coordination." Maya moved to the science station, studying the sensor data. "Some kind of neural network. A hive mind." "Possibly," Harper replied. "More importantly, I'm noticing energy fluctuations in their weapon systems. Their ships appear heavily shielded against radiation and conventional weapons, but there's a distinct electromagnetic signature when they communicate." A plan began forming in Maya's mind. "Chief Engineer Patel, what's the status of our experimental EMP generator?" Engineer Rajiv Patel's voice came through the intercom. "Operational but untested in combat conditions, Captain. It was designed for disabling pirate vessels, not as a weapon against advanced alien technology. Could it be modified to match the frequency patterns of the alien communication network?" creates some kind of feedback disruption. There was a moment of silence as Patel considered. Theoretically, yes, but we'd need to get close enough to analyze their emissions directly, and the pulse would be directional. We have to hit them at nearly point-blank range. Then that's what we'll do, Maya decided. Tactical, prepare all conventional weapons for a coordinated barrage. Engineering, I need that pulse generator reconfigured within the hour. Communications, status of the Earthlink. Quantum communication established, Captain, replied Communications Officer Tequita. Admiral Valdez is standing by. The main screen flickered to life, revealing Admiral Valdez's stern face. Her expression darkened as Maya briefed her on the situation. You're certain they fired first? Valdez asked, though her tone suggested she already knew the answer. Without provocation or warning, Maya confirmed. The Neptune research station was destroyed with all hands. Their intentions are clear. Valdez nodded grimly. Defense fleets are being mobilized at Mars and Earth, but it will take time. The Saturn Defense Group is closest, but still 8 hours away at maximum burn. You need to slow the alien advance, Captain. Buy us time to prepare. Maya understood the unspoken order. The Solaris was expendable. Earth and its colonies were not. Understood, Admiral. We'll hold them as long as we can. Solaris out. As the communication ended, Maya turned to her crew. I won't lie to you. What I'm proposing is essentially a suicide mission. We're going to charge directly at their command vessel and detonate the modified EMP pulse at point-blank range. With luck, it will disrupt their network coordination long enough for us to inflict significant damage before they recover. She paused, looking at each officer in turn. This is beyond what any of you signed up for. I'm calling for volunteers only for the final approach. The rest of the crew will evacuate in the emergency pods and head for Triton Base. A moment of silence fell over the bridge, broken when Lieutenant Rodriguez stood. I'm with you, Captain. As am I, said Lieutenant Harper without hesitation. One by one, each bridge officer affirmed their commitment to the mission. Maya felt a surge of pride that threatened to overwhelm her composure. This was humanity at its finest. Facing extinction, they chose to stand and fight, not for glory, but for those who couldn't fight for themselves. Evacuation of non-essential personnel will commence immediately, Maya ordered. Engineering, status of the pulse generator modifications. Progressing rapidly, Captain, Paddle reported. We're reconfiguring the ship's main power core to channel everything into a single massive electromagnetic pulse calibrated to the alien fleet's communication frequency. But we'll have one shot before they adapt. Over the next hour, as the battle raged around them, and Neptune's defensive platforms fell one by one, the crew of the Solaris worked feverishly to implement Maya's desperate gambit. Meanwhile, escape pods launched from the lower decks, carrying the majority of the crew toward the relative safety of Triton, Neptune's largest moon. All non-volunteer personnel evacuated, Rodriguez reported. Engineering reports the pulse generator is ready but untested. Weapons are standing by. Maya took a deep breath, committing fully to the course ahead. Plot an intercept course with the alien command vessel. Prepare to divert all power to engines and the pulse generator on my mark. The Solaris turned toward the heart of the alien fleet, its engines flaring as it accelerated directly toward the massive command ship. Enemy vessels scrambled to intercept, but the human ship had already built too much momentum. Shields failing, Harper shouted as energy beams lashed the hull. Structural integrity compromised on decks 3 through 5. Hold course, Maya ordered, gripping her chair as the ship shuddered violently around her. Distance to target 2,000 kilometers and closing, Rodriguez reported. We'll be in optimal range in 30 seconds. The alien command ship loomed ever larger on the view screen, its massive weapons turning to focus on the approaching human vessel. The Solaris rocked under a direct hit, and emergency lighting bathed the bridge in crimson. Engineering to bridge, Paddle's voice came through with static interference. The pulse generator is charged, but the targeting systems are damaged. We'll need to get closer, much closer. Maya made her decision instantly. Divert all remaining power to engines and the pulse generator. We're going to ram them. The Solaris, humanity's most advanced destroyer, accelerated on a collision course with the heart of the alien command ship. Across the bridge, the crew worked with grim determination, knowing these might be their final moments. Impact in 10 seconds. Rodriguez counted down. 9, 8. Maya closed her eyes briefly. For Earth, she whispered. 3, 2, 1. But the expected collision never came. Instead, at the last possible moment, Maya shouted, "All stop. Fire the pulse." The Solaris's engines cut out abruptly, inertia carrying the vessel to within mere kilometers of the alien command ship's hull. Then, with a power drain that plunged the entire ship into darkness for 3 critical seconds, the electromagnetic pulse generator fired. There was no visible beam, no dramatic explosion, just a wave of concentrated electromagnetic energy, precisely calibrated to the alien fleet's communication frequency. It washed over the command ship like an invisible tide. For one breathless moment, nothing happened. Then chaos erupted among the alien vessels. The smaller craft, previously moving with perfect coordination, began to drift aimlessly or collide with one another. The command ship's weapon systems flickered and died. "It worked," Paddle exclaimed, his voice thick with disbelief. "Their command network is down." Maya didn't waste a second. "All power to weapons. Target their propulsion systems and fire everything we have." The Solaris' remaining rail guns and missile batteries unleashed hell upon the suddenly vulnerable alien command ship. Without its defensive coordination, the massive vessel's shields failed under the barrage. Explosions blossomed across its hull as critical systems were breached. "The smaller vessels are regaining some coordination," Harper warned. "We have maybe 2 minutes before they adapt." "Make every shot count," Maya ordered. "Target their power systems and weapon nodes." For 90 seconds, the Solaris pounded the alien command ship with everything in its arsenal. The human vessel was barely operational, its hull breached in multiple sections, life support failing on most decks. But its weapons continued to fire, inflicting crippling damage on the far larger alien vessel. Then, just as the smaller alien craft began to coordinate their counterattack, a massive explosion rippled through the command ship. Chain reactions tore through its propulsion systems, followed by secondary explosions as power nodes overloaded. Direct hit on what appears to be their power core. Rodriguez shouted over the alarms. The bridge crew watched in stunned silence as the alien command ship broke apart, massive sections of hull spinning away into the void. The coordinated attack of the smaller vessels instantly collapsed, the craft reverting to seemingly random movements. We did it," Harper whispered. Maya allowed herself a moment to absorb the impossible victory before reality reasserted itself. "Damage report. Life support failing on all decks," Rodriguez reported grimly. "Hull integrity critical. Engines offline. We have maybe 30 minutes of breathable air remaining." Maya nodded, accepting the cost of their victory. "Broadcast our sensor data and tactical information to Earth Command. They need to know what we've learned about the alien weaknesses." As the Solaris drifted amid the debris of the alien command ship, its systems failing one by one, Maya looked at her crew, the brave men and women who had sacrificed everything to give humanity a fighting chance. "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve with you," she said quietly. The quantum communication system sputtered to life one final time. Admiral Valdez's face appeared on the cracked screen, her expression a mixture of grief and determination. "The Saturn Defense Group has altered course to your position," she said. "Hold on, Captain Chen. Reinforcements are coming." Maya smiled faintly. Whether rescue would arrive in time was irrelevant. They had accomplished their mission. They had discovered a vulnerability in the alien fleet, a weakness that might just give humanity a chance to survive. "For Earth," she repeated, this time loud enough for all to hear. And across the solar system, humanity prepared for war. The counterattack. 27 minutes after Captain Maya Chen's final transmission, the EDS Hyperion, lead vessel of Saturn's defense group, arrived at the battle site. What they found was a scene of unprecedented destruction. The colossal alien command ship shattered into countless fragments, dozens of smaller enemy vessels drifting aimlessly, and the battered hull of the Solaris, dark and seemingly lifeless. "Life signs," demanded Commander Jackson Reeves. "Faint readings on the bridge, sir," replied the Hyperion's sensor officer. "Approximately 6 survivors, but life support has completely failed. They've got minutes at most." "Emergency transport now," Jackson ordered. "Medical teams to Transporter Bay 3. Against all odds, Captain Chen and 5 members of her bridge crew were recovered from the Solaris moments before its reactor containment failed. The vessel that had struck the first effective blow against an alien invasion dissolved into a brief, silent flash amid the debris field. 3 days later, in the medical bay of Earth Defense Station Arcturus, Maya Chen awoke to find Admiral Valdez standing by her bed. "Welcome back, Captain," Valdez said. "Or should I say, Commodore Chen." Maya tried to sit up, wincing at the pain from her partially healed injuries. "My crew, all 5 recovered with you survived," Valdez assured her. "They're already back on duty, helping implement what we've learned from your encounter." The Admiral's expression grew serious. "You gave us something precious, Commodore. You gave us hope." The data transmitted from the Solaris before its destruction had proven invaluable. Scientists and military strategists worked around the clock, analyzing the alien neural network vulnerability that Chen's crew had exploited. What they discovered was surprising. The aliens relied on a quantum entanglement communication system that, while nearly instantaneous across vast distances, was susceptible to precisely calibrated electromagnetic disruption. In the 2 weeks since the Neptune engagement, humanity had mobilized like never before. Historical divisions between nations vanished in the face of extinction. Every manufacturing facility from Mercury to the asteroid belt was converted to military production. Civilian ships were retrofitted with weapons and shields. Earth's long-dormant nuclear arsenal was recommissioned and enhanced with modern delivery systems. Most importantly, the EMP technology that had proven effective against the alien neural network was refined and mass-produced as both ship-mounted weapons and deployable mines. "The alien fleet has pushed past Uranus," Valdez briefed Maya as they walked through Arcturus Station's Strategic Command Center. "They've slowed their advance since Neptune, proceeding more cautiously. We estimate they'll reach Saturn's orbit in 4 days." Massive holographic displays showed the disposition of Earth's hastily assembled defense forces. Free battle groups were positioned in strategic locations throughout the solar system, with the main fleet concentrated between Mars and Jupiter. "Our plan is to avoid direct engagement until they reach this point," Valdez indicated a region near Jupiter. "We've seeded the area with EMP mines and positioned our fastest ships to conduct hit-and-run attacks. The goal is to disrupt their coordination long enough for our main fleet to target their remaining command vessels." Maya studied the tactical display. "They'll have adapted to our EMP technology by now." "We're counting on it," Valdez smiled thinly. Dr. Okafor at Europa Observatory made a breakthrough. "The aliens' adaptation to our EMP weapons actually makes them more vulnerable to a secondary frequency modulation. We hit them with what they expect, let them adapt, then hit them with the frequency they've modulated toward." It was elegant in its simplicity. Maya felt a surge of pride in human ingenuity. In just 2 weeks, they had not only understood an alien technology, but found a way to weaponize the enemy's own adaptations against them. "Where do you need me?" Maya asked. "I'm giving you command of Strike Group Alpha," Valdez replied. "You'll lead the initial assault when the aliens reach Jupiter's orbit. Your familiarity with their tactics makes you our best asset." 4 days later, Maya stood on the bridge of the EDS Nemesis, the newest and most powerful destroyer in Earth's fleet. Built in the orbital shipyards of Mars, The Nemesis incorporated lessons learned from the Solaris's encounter, with enhanced EMP generators, reinforced shields, and a more versatile weapons array. Strike Group Alpha in position, Commodore, reported Commander Devi Lakshmi, Maya's executive officer. All ships report ready status. Maya nodded, studying the tactical display. The alien fleet had entered Jupiter's orbit exactly as predicted, maintaining their precise formation despite the losses suffered at Neptune. Their adaptability was impressive. The smaller vessels now moved with greater independence, clearly a response to the vulnerability exposed by the Solaris attack. "They're learning," Maya observed. "But so are we." The alien fleet numbered over 300 vessels, with 7 ships of similar size to the command vessel destroyed at Neptune. Earth's combined forces, even with every military and converted civilian ship, barely reached 200. But they had the advantage of fighting in their home system, with established bases, supply lines, and a desperate determination to survive. "All ships, commence Operation Thunderstrike," Maya ordered. Deployment pattern Omega. Across the Jupiter defense zone, Earth vessels launch thousands of EMP mines, small, stealthy devices designed to drift into the path of the advancing alien fleet. Simultaneously, 50 high-speed attack craft broke formation, accelerating toward the alien vanguard in what appeared to be a reckless frontal assault. The aliens responded predictably, the smaller vessels moving to intercept the human attack craft, while the larger ships maintained formation. As the two forces converged, the human vessels suddenly scattered in predetermined patterns, drawing the alien interceptors through the invisible minefield. Detonation in 3, 2, 1. Commander Lakshmi counted down. On Maya's command, the mines activated simultaneously, engulfing the alien vanguard in overlapping waves of electromagnetic energy. The effect was immediate. Dozens of enemy vessels lost power or began drifting erratically as their neural network suffered cascading failures. Phase 2, Maya ordered. "All ships, execute targeting Protocol 17. The human attack craft wheeled around, targeting the temporarily disabled alien vessels with conventional weapons. Rail guns and missile batteries tore into the suddenly vulnerable ships, destroying or crippling nearly 40 before the remaining aliens could adapt their shields to the EMP frequency. "They're adapting," Lakshmi warned. "EMP effectiveness dropping to 30%. "Right on schedule," Maya replied. "Execute frequency shift now." As predicted by Dr. Okafor, the aliens had modified their systems to resist the initial EMP frequency, essentially tuning their defenses to reject that specific electromagnetic pattern. But in doing so, they had made themselves more vulnerable to a secondary frequency. The second wave of EMP weapons activated, this time using a precisely calibrated frequency that exploited the aliens' adaptations. The effect was even more devastating than the first attack. Ships that had adjusted to resist the initial EMP found their systems completely overwhelmed by the modulated follow-up. Multiple command ships experiencing critical failures, Lakshmi reported, unable to keep the excitement from her voice. "Their formation is breaking apart." Maya allowed herself a moment of satisfaction before refocusing on the battle. "All ships, commence primary attack run. Target their command vessels while they're vulnerable." The main Earth fleet emerged from behind Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede, where they had been concealed from alien sensors. Led by Admiral Valdez aboard the dreadnought Humanity's Hope, they struck the disorganized alien fleet with overwhelming firepower. For 6 hours, the battle raged across the Jovian system. Human vessels darted between the moons of Jupiter, using the natural terrain to execute ambushes and avoid direct confrontation with the still superior alien weaponry. The aliens fought with increasing desperation as their command structure collapsed, their perfect coordination replaced by individual ships fighting alone or in small groups. Aboard the Nemesis, Maya coordinated Strike Group Alpha's attacks with precision, targeting critical systems on the alien command vessels while avoiding their devastating energy weapons. The bridge shook violently as the destroyer absorbed a direct hit to its port side. "Shields at 40%, reported Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, one of the Solaris survivors who had requested assignment to Maya's new command. "Port weapons array offline. Reroute power from non-essential systems," Maya ordered. "Targeting control to starboard batteries. Maintain focus on target Alpha 7. Alpha 7, the largest remaining alien command ship, had become the focal point of the human attack. 3 Earth vessels had already been destroyed attempting to breach its formidable defenses, but its shields were weakening under the combined assault. "Commodore," Lakshmi called out, "I'm detecting unusual energy readings from Alpha 7. They appear to be charging some kind of pulse weapon, something we haven't seen before." Maya studied the sensor readings with growing concern. The energy buildup far exceeded anything they had encountered in previous engagements. If released, it could potentially destroy dozens of human ships in a single discharge. "Alert all vessels to clear a minimum safe distance of 50,000 kilometers from Alpha 7, she ordered. Then, after a moment's consideration, "Commander Lakshmi, plot a direct intercept course. We're going to take out that weapon before it can discharge." "Direct intercept?" Lakshmi questioned. "Our shields won't withstand sustained fire at close range." "We won't need them to," Maya replied. "Engineering, prepare the enhanced EMP generator for maximum output. Divert all power except life support and engines. We'll need enough momentum to maintain course even if systems fail." The Nemesis broke formation, accelerating toward the massive alien vessel. Enemy fire immediately intensified, concentrating on the lone human ship apparently attempting a suicide run. "Shields failing," Rodriguez reported calmly. "Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7. "Stay on course," Maya ordered. "Engineering, status of the EMP generator." "Charged to 130% of rated capacity," came the response. "Captain, at this level, the generator will burn out after discharge. We won't get a second shot." "We won't need one," Maya assured him. "Stand by to fire on my mark." The Nemesis closed to within 10,000 kilometers of Alpha 7, point-blank range in space combat. The alien vessel's weapons tore into the human destroyer, but the Nemesis maintained its trajectory through sheer momentum. "Energy buildup on Alpha 7 reaching critical levels," Lakshmi warned. "Discharge imminent." "Now," Maya shouted. The enhanced EMP generator fired, directing its full output at the heart of the alien vessel. The discharge was so powerful that it temporarily overloaded the Nemesis's own systems, plunging the bridge into darkness. Only the emergency lighting remained, casting red shadows across the determined faces of the crew. For several seconds, there was no indication whether the attack had succeeded. Then the view screen flickered back to life, showing Alpha 7 adrift, its weapons ports dark. The ominous energy buildup dissipated. "Direct hit on their power distribution network," Rodriguez confirmed. "They're dead in space." Maya didn't waste the opportunity. "All operational weapons, fire. Target their central core." The Nemesis' remaining weapons, 2 starboard rail gun batteries, and a single missile launcher, unleashed everything they had at the temporarily helpless alien vessel. Other human ships quickly joined the attack, concentrating fire on the weak points identified in Maya's tactical data. Alpha 7's hull, designed to withstand conventional weapons, proved susceptible to concentrated fire on its now exposed power core. A series of cascading explosions tore through the massive ship, culminating in a final detonation that split the vessel into 3 distinct sections. With the destruction of Alpha 7, the already fragmented alien fleet lost all semblance of coordination. Individual ships began to retreat, some attempting to flee the solar system, others seeking refuge in the outer planet's asteroid fields. Without their command structure, the once fearsome armada had become a collection of isolated vessels fighting for survival. "All ships, pursue and destroy," Admiral Valdez ordered from the Humanity's Hope. "Don't let any escape to report back to wherever they came from." For the next 3 days, Earth's combined fleet hunted down the remaining alien vessels. Some fought to the last, while others attempted to surrender. Though with no common language established, the human commanders took no chances, disabling rather than destroying these vessels for later study. 1 week after the Battle of Jupiter, Admiral Valdez convened the senior commanders aboard Arcturus Station. The mood was one of cautious celebration tinged with solemn recognition of the cost. Nearly 40 human vessels lost, with thousands of casualties. "We've won the first round," Valdez addressed the assembled officers. "But we must assume this was merely an advance force. Somewhere out there is a civilization capable of building that fleet, and they now know where we are." Maya Chen, still wearing bandages from injuries sustained aboard the Nemesis, nodded in agreement. "We've proven ourselves capable of defending our system, but we need to prepare for what comes next. They'll return, and they won't make the same mistakes, which is why we won't be merely waiting for them," Valdez replied. "The technology we've recovered from the captured alien vessels has already accelerated our scientific progress by decades. We're reverse engineering their faster-than-light drive, their weapons systems, their neural interface technology." She activated a holographic display showing a massive construction project in Earth orbit. "This is Sentinel-1, the first of a new class of vessels designed specifically to take the fight to the enemy. It incorporates everything we've learned about alien technology, enhanced by human innovation." Maya studied the schematics with growing appreciation. The ship was unlike anything humanity had previously conceived, larger than any Earth vessel, yet designed with an elegance that spoke of lessons learned from both human and alien engineering philosophies. "How soon until it's operational?" she asked. 6 months, Valdez replied. "And you'll be its captain, if you accept. Your mission will be to follow the alien fleet's trail back to its origin, to gather intelligence, and, if possible, to establish diplomatic contact from a position of strength." Maya looked around at her fellow officers, men and women who had faced extinction and fought with everything they had to ensure humanity's survival. She thought of the crew of the Solaris, of the sacrifices made at Neptune and Jupiter, of the countless civilians who had worked tirelessly to support the war effort. "We've proven what humanity can accomplish when united by a common purpose," she said. "We've shown that even against superior technology, our adaptability and determination can prevail. I accept the command, Admiral." As the meeting concluded, Maya stood at the viewport, gazing out at the stars. The threat had been repelled, but the greater challenge lay ahead. Humanity would not merely defend its solar system. It would venture into the galaxy, ready to extend friendship to those who sought peace and formidable resistance to those who threatened its existence. The universe had just discovered that humans were a species not easily conquered. And somewhere among the distant stars, the architects of the invasion would soon learn the same lesson.